Beneath a dim and rusted sky, where the land cracked like old parchment and the wind carried only dust and static, two shapes faced each other. Neither moved, neither spoke. Yet, the space between them was heavy with meaning, a weight built, not from history, but from the ache of parallel destinies colliding for the final time. On the left stood a being of flesh shaped by strength. Its form was compact and animalistic, legs poised with the grace of an apex predator, arms small but precise, torso thick with power. The head, however, was unmistakably thoughtful, eyes forward, expression still. A man's face on a reptilian body, adorned with braided hair like a ceremonial crown. Its presence was grounded, dense with ancestral gravity. It belonged to a lineage that had fled upwards through instinct, choosing survival through regression, through the old laws of tooth and sinew. Opposite stood something entirely different. Tall, wiry, almost translucent, it teetered at the edge of substance. Its body was a lattice of narrow limbs and extended fingers, spine arched and mouth parted as if it breathed ideas instead of air. The head was oversized, hollow-looking, with eyes dulled by the absence of need. There was a slowness to its stance, not weakness, but detachment, as though time itself passed differently through its form. It was not made to move through the world, but to observe it as it decayed. Its kind had chosen a path of thought, so deep it eroded flesh itself. They met on what the ancients once called the median ridge, a narrow plateau that sliced the continent in half, untouched by the floods or the ash winds. Here, in the presence of one another, they participated in a ritual older than memory and unrecorded by machines. They did not know each other's names. Neither species used them anymore. The meeting was not one of curiosity. There was no desire to understand, only the compulsion to witness, to affirm the reality of the other's path. They had not converged by design, but by some inherited inertia, like planets swinging past each other in an old gravitational rhythm that no longer served a purpose. The wind swirled between them, dragging pale dust into small spirals that dissolved as quickly as they formed. The creature of instinct stood with quiet tension, like an animal caught mid-hunt, muscles at rest but ready. The other leaned forward with slow, calculated grace, long fingers twitching as if calculating invisible equations on the air itself. Neither blinked. Though the surface of their world had long since ceased offering warmth or nourishment, something below still pulsed. Beneath the ridge, beneath their feet, a deep hum threaded through the bones of the planet. Not mechanical, not natural, just persistent. Each had brought a token. The predator being lowered a heavy, cracked object from its back, a carved stone shaped vaguely like a vertebra, hollowed out and filled with soil. It placed the relic on the ground with care, as if it carried a memory more important than breath. The elongated creature brought no object. Instead, it raised one hand skyward, fingers outstretched. From the tips, a shimmer of heatless light, flickered for a moment, then faded, as though a thought had been made visible, then quickly withdrawn. This was the offering, a gesture, a presence, a symbol. Neither expected the other to understand. That was not the purpose. In their own ways, both were descendants of the same long-forgotten lineage, a species that once spread across oceans and skies, that bent nature into cities and stretched its mind into symbols. That species had not died, but had fractured, peeled into extremes by time, by chance, by the hunger to become something more. And so they stood, the result of a billion decisions made without them, the consequences of forgotten dreams. One chose the body, the other chose the mind. Neither path led back. Eventually, they turned. The stone remained where it had been placed. The flicker of light did not return, the dust resumed its quiet motion, covering the prints of claw and foot alike. As they left, the ridge fell silent once more. But something lingered. Not meaning, not memory. Only the echo of a moment when two shapes, alien to each other and to their origin, had shared space and offered witness to what they had become. At the edge of evolution, even silence can speak.